Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJTRIP. Welcome to the week in review for Big Brother 22. This is week 4. Last week we did not do a show for various reasons, but this week we're back on time and we're doing the show again. Um, Probably gonna do a show next week. We probably will do a show next week as well. Even though next week is the start of the NFL season, we will be doing a show next week. So we will make sure we have that. Um, but yes, anyway, um, so it is, um, after Janelle was evicted last week, um, we needed to see, for those of us who wanted to see Kaser last long, we needed to see we need to see maybe one or two people win, win HOH. We needed to see, um, we needed to see Kaser win. We needed to see Ian win. We could not trust Devon or Bailey because I think they get into this Slick Six thing that is that isn't real. So whatever. Um, but they've gotten into it and they've gone ahead and they have decided to um, put up Kaser for the win. We wanted to see Kaser or Ian win so that they wouldn't put up Kaser. Excuse me, I'm kind of flustered on all of my stuff. But yeah, that's what we wanted. And it looked like Kaser won the first round. Kaser was they had some type of crazy trajectory. He had to roll balls up the thing, and they're like Kaser had won. Well, he had not won, but he was one of the winners in the first competition, and then they had the second competition, and then he did not win. Enzo won the third competition, so that was unfortunate. Enzo was, wanted to do things for his boys, Cody, and everything like that, so he can put Kaser on the block list. Everybody wanted Kaser out, and so that's kind of yeah, it's kind of not good. Um, but I think one of the things that happened this week was the wall yeller, and listen, I'm not a fan of fans coming up to the wall and yelling things to try to ruin the games of the contestants. And I put this out on Twitter. At some point, they need to let's leave Los Angeles and they need to go to like a place like Wyoming or Idaho or or somewhere out in Nevada. Maybe they need to go to maybe they can stay in California, but just go out somewhere where there is no person to be found and build a compound and have that build a house with all of the cameras and things like that. Build an actual house, build a backyard, maybe even a front yard. I don't know. You have to build a backyard, and then maybe at the front of the house, you build like the stage for the TV show or something like that. And when they get evicted, they leave out the front of the house. And whatever. Um, yeah, stop having the fans and everything like that. Um, come to the shows. You don't necessarily need the fans, right? They didn't. They just started having fans there several years ago. I think because you look at all of the earlier things, there was no fans there when people get evicted. People get evicted and they walk down a path, sit their bag on the thing, and then went and talk to Julie. It probably wasn't until Jesus, maybe until maybe like week until like season uh 12 or 13, maybe even later. It wasn't. It was way. It was. long time before they actually had a studio audience. So they don't really need a studio audience. My cat's back there tearing up her own way. Um, so they don't need a studio audience. They really don't. Um, but yeah, I think that's the best way to do it, so that you don't have to try and. There's a wall yeller come out there. There was two of them apparently. One of them yelled, "You can't trust Nicole or Cody," and another one yelled something else. I don't know what it was, but someone, the one that yelled Nicole or Cody, apparently got the ears of everybody and heard everybody, and they, you know, and now the stuff that Keisha has been telling them for weeks is now, like apparently waking up some people, especially Ian. Ian has now like seemingly he's wake up and he himself is still a little off because he's doing this thing where he's going back to things where saying where it's the big alliance was like in he's mentioned in 12 it was getting out Rachel and Brendan focus on that. And then he said it was 18, 19. It was Jessica and Cody. And he said now this season 22, it's Janelle and Kaysha. Those, focusing on that, on those two players, distracts from the bigger alliance in the house, right? He saying but see, and even though that's kind of a coincidence, I think personally, I don't think it's that mastermindful. Mastermindful. Yeah, yeah. I think that's not a word, but you know what I'm trying to say. I don't even think it's that that complicated. It was just from from jump like day 3 or day 4, right? Well, first off, from day one, from day one, Cody wanted saw Casey, saw Janelle, knew they were legends, wanted them gone. Did not want to have them in the house. Did not want to have anyone in the house that week. And when they went up and started doing everything like that, he can say all he wants to. We saw it on television that he was thinking about. And actually, we saw it every week. Nicole F came up there and said, "How about Janelle and Casey?" Yeah, they yeah. So that was his target from jump. His target from jump. Cody was, and then Casey and Janelle went and did the thing. Did the safety suite, and listen. I know some people would say, well, some people, especially coming behind, say, well, why did both of them play? It's you can't. I don't worry about both of them playing. I really don't. I don't think that's what is going to what cost Janelle or Kaser any type of game. Because as you can see, when they played week 3, everybody, was replayed. So I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with all of that. Um, so I just think that um, from jump it was going to be Janelle and Casey, and then day 3 or 4, Janelle and Casey started. As I guess the new term is clocked. The new term is clocked. Yeah, so they clocked their alliance that quickly, and they knew that it was like a 4-person alliance of Cody, Tyler, um, Danny, and Nicole, and they were close. They had the 4. There's actually 6. We know with Memphis and Christmas, but they knew it pretty quickly. They had it pretty quickly. They've been watching this show for years. They played it twice. They know what they were doing, and so the Lions not needing to have them in the house. not even to have them in the house, went ahead and um, went ahead and saw that, and saw that and went after them, and that was, exactly what it was, you know, and so we had to do what we needed to do to get that done. And unfortunately, they just couldn't win anything. They just couldn't win anything. Nell couldn't win that sliding the thing, and it was good for Ian. And Ian would have won that one. Tyler won it, and Casey just couldn't win this HOH, and it was unfortunate. It really was. It just really was unfortunate. It's unfortunate that Casey is going to leave today. Um, but going back to Ian real quick, Ian is now, he seems to have been woken up by this revelation of Nicody and Nicody. I could call him Nicody. You know, quote unquote playing everyone, and now he's he thinks he has some things clocked, but he's a little off. But I think he's got the remnants of it, and he's been talking to Kaser, and he's been, him and Bailey and Devon have been trying to get Kaser, and to Kevin a little bit too, trying to get Kaser to blow up the house as he leaves. But that doesn't, see, for me, that doesn't make any sense. Is if everybody knows, right, and everybody seems to think they know, and if everybody seems to think they know, then why would he blow up the house? Why would he blow up the house? That would not make any sense. Yeah, especially when when it comes to Billy and Devon and Kevin. These are the people that he's been trying to work with, and and bring in together, and they didn't want to because they feel like they are, playing their own good game, and they're not. They're not. You know. The massive alliance, the committee, is kind of turning on each other. With Tyler and Danny and some other things. They're kind of turning on each other in that way. Um, but trust me, they didn't want to get nothing to do with that. They didn't want to get nothing to do with that. You know, that that wasn't Bailey and Devon's thing. They didn't cause that. It's been a kind of series of scenes that they've seen over the week, especially the one we saw last night on the TV show when when Danny came in and said they want a meeting, and he was talking about the Six Licks meeting, and he's with Tyler, and Tyler's like, oh, it's a house meeting, and but Nicole F right there, Nicole F is not a part of the 666 meeting, so all of it is just so yeah. Um, so yeah, like I said, Enzo nominated Kaser and Kevin. Kevin was the pawn. Kevin won the Golden Power veto. Took himself off. Put Christmas volunteer to go up, so Christmas is going up. So Christmas and Kaser are going. One of them are going home tonight. It's going to be Kaser. Um, yeah, it just sucks because I think Kaser has always had a great mind for this. He's had a great mind for this show, and he's had a great feel for this show. I mean, this is going back to even back in the little days, like season 6. I mean, one of the reasons why in season 6 we liked Kaser, we became a big fan of Kaser. Kaser had that big popularity is because he figured out the twist of the season. He figured out the twist. He figured out that every person had a partner. Yeah, he figured out every person had a partner. And then not only did he figure out that every person had a partner, he figured out who everybody's partner was. And so he figured out quickly that James and Sarah was boyfriend. He figured out Howie and Rachel But they were, I don't know, but they were friends. We figured out, um, Cappy and Maggie, and he figured out Bo and Yvette, and he figured out April and Jennifer. He figured all that out. And even this season, even though this season he's had a few times where he just, he hadn't some things he hadn't had right. And he's truly whiffed on the Memphis thing. He thinks Memphis is just, you know, all out and out, not there. But he just think, but Memphis is obviously part of the six, you know. But and he also missed Christmas. He's talked too much to Christmas, and probably talked a little bit too much to Memphis. Because Memphis went back and told Memphis and Christmas both went back and told their alliance some of the stuff that kids has told them. That's why they were always being ahead. That, and combining the fact of being able to win, they've been able to stay ahead of Janelle and Casey, unfortunately. So yeah, so it's just it's an unfortunate detail of this game. So one last thing about this game, really quick. Um, a write up on TV Guide um, about Big Brother and in this season, and it's 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 just a bunch of you know they write up about how they don't like this season and how this season has started off. How you know some of the fan favorites, Keisha, Janelle, uh, Nicole Anthony, even though she's a favorite, although she very quickly, did not become a fan favorite, um, because of um, her quickly turning on Janelle and Kaser. And Kaser, how like the four big fan favorites, four people people really wanted to see come back and play. Um, and they were announced is now they're now necessarily gone, right? They're necessarily gone, and it's gone. They're gone because of the house dynamic. We talked about the big group, and taking out, and there's been all some of the things about group think and everything like that, and they go back to Big Brother 16 and Derek and what Derek did. And listen, Derek played a fantastic game. He played the best game that's ever been played on Big Brother. Um, we'll see, because right now we'll see what's happening, because we could possibly be saying that about a few other people from this season. If things continue to go the way they go, but he played the greatest season there was on Big Brother. Yes, and everybody showed, and the producers showed Big Brother 16. They showed Big Brother 16. They say here, if the recruits who are here in the scene, here, watch Big Brother 16, right? Or people who just started watching it, maybe beforehand, here's Big Brother 16. They give them Big Brother 16 to watch, instead of giving them the other seasons. But even still, I don't think that's the reason why we have the big alliances, and demolishing people. We don't really have two sides of the house. Or if we do have two sides of the house, it's still one big alliance and one small alliance, you know or something like that, like we did in 20, where level 6 is kind of leveled the other side. um the reason why we don't have things like that, right, is um it's just due to um it's just due to um I think young people, for the most part, they put. I talked about this. It seems like put it on Twitter is when I saw the TV guide thing. Um, it seems like to me they cast for showmasters, and they cast for showmasters probably about for the for the last several years, probably since Brendan and Rachel became a thing, right? And they kind of had that back to back year. 11 with Jeff and Jordan, very popular couple, and then 12 with Brendan and Rachel, very popular couple. And then they brought them both back in 13, right? So then it seems like ever since then, ever since that was, in fact, in 13 was actually a couple season, but they were kind of hoping for that. And guess what? Danny and Dominic became a showmance, and they gone on to get married, just like Jeff and Jordan, Brendan and Rachel. So I think that's what they were looking for. They were kind of, I think they in a way they cast for showmasters, in a way. They cast young, single, very attractive people. Young, very attractive people. You know, they don't cast the married, um, um, older, um, lesser attractive folks. Anything. They don't cast people that look like me. Or if they do, it's Cliff. It's Cliff. You know, it's you know, because you look at you just look at the things like they're just good looking people. All the point, good looking people. Maybe there's like I said, there's one Cliff, out of the group, and then there's one Steve out of the group, you know. So maybe that, but they don't, they don't cast a bunch of them, they don't cast a bunch of married people. It's all a bunch of people who are young and single. They're hoping for hookups. There's a fight. Even some of the hardcore Big Brother fans don't like the showmances. Showmances are ratings getters. They're ratings getters. With that being said, when you cast young people, one of the things young people do is that young people want to fit in and they want to blend in with the crowd. So, and I think even David mentioned this the first few days that he was there when he was talking about his thing on Big Brother 21. He was talking about that big group alliance and everything like that. Um, he even said that if had he not been ousted on night one, then come back and saw how the house was. If that not had happened, he probably would have been in the big group because young people want to fit in with each other, and they want to fit in. So and I think that's how you get the big groups. You get the big groups because young people want to fit in with each other. And I think that's where you get the big groups. The reason why you get the big group here on on the All Star season was with some older folks, like like Memphis and Christmas and Danny. I think there's a myriad of reasons. Some of that is the pre-gaming that was done beforehand with Dan and Derek, allegedly. I think some of that is just prior relationships, like with Cody and Nicole, and some of that is also, you know, um, some of the people have also feel like that even though they come from the old school, like Memphis, like Enzo, like Danny. I guess we're saying old school as being pre 16. Pre 16, it gets old school. Um, those that come from the old school, um, I guess they said, okay, so this is how the new school does it, so this is how I need to do it. Then they just take it on to that. Instead of what Casey and Janelle wanted to do was they wanted to, as they said, split the house and go battle each other head on, get rid of the floaters and just go take my squad, your squad, and let's hang out. Let's go heads up. Um, so, but it's not like that anymore. The game isn't like that anymore. I don't think the game The game will not be like that unless they make it like that, where they say the group over here, there's a group over here, and there's a group over here. Your group's already made, and you got to go head up. And your group wins, that group is safe. Someone from that group wins head of household, that group is safe. The other people in the house, they have to, you have to do that. So I think that's the way that they, and even then, there's gonna be some intermingling inside, and they're gonna be small groups. Listen, I'll throw you, I'll keep throwing the head of household to you as long as you keep me safe, and things like that. And there's gonna be things like that, and it's still gonna be, there's probably still gonna be big groups inside those two small groups. But if people want a house split, people want two sides to go at each other, that's probably the way it's going to be. Because I think, and again, like I said, we mentioned with Big Brother 20, even though there were two sides of the house, there still was one side that was really dominant. Other than a Scotty HOH and a Scotty. Well, actually, let's be fair. Fauci, Hive, whatever you call them, they did win. They did win, and they took out Winston and Rachel. But Haley, because of the twist, had Rockstar go out on her, on her thing, and then when Fessy won the next week, he took out Scotty because he was jealous of Scotty being with Haley so much, and so it was just right. So it was just that, just how it was. So, and listen, that's just the way it's going to be, right? But yeah, I kind of just feel like, I think one, people need to stop blaming Derek, because I don't think Derek had anything to do with it. Derek, stop blaming Derek for playing a fantastic game. It wasn't his fault. It really wasn't. And I think the other thing people need to do is I think they need to just, realize that when you have those many young people, you're going to have that inclusion of wanting to be in with the in crowd, so they're going to go that way. So I think that's the biggest thing of why we have this, as they say, this new school Big Brother happen. All right, y'all, another long video, but I think we covered a lot this week. So now with Janelle and Keisha gone, we'll have to see what happens next week. We'll see who gets in power. Now that Ian is a little bit caught up, I think Bailey and Devon are also a little bit caught up as well with some things. Kevin might be as well. I don't think they got the full picture, but I think they know enough of what could happen. So we'll have to wait and see. Because right now it's a group of 6, and Enzo's on the outside of that, but it's a group of 6 that is really, really strong, and we'll have to wait and see what can happen. And we'll also to see with this fracture between Tyler and Danny. Would Tyler take a shot at Danny? Would Tyler take a shot at Danny this week? This upcoming week? If Tyler were to win, I think if Cody wins, he's going after Devon and Bailey, and I think if Nicole and Christmas wins, and Danny wins as well, I think they all are going up to Devon and Bailey as well, since they're the next two biggest couple that's not in their alliance. So they obviously need to break that up. All right, y'all. Post your comments down below. Tell me what you guys think. Let me know what you guys thought about this week. What you think about Keisha's impending eviction. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. This is your boy, AJTRIP, signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.